In this presentation, I will review and demonstrate the preferred process for migrating content from an original Blackboard course to an Ultra course. In the preferred process, you will build a rough course outline of folders or learning modules in an Ultra Master or Semester Course shell, and then use the Copy Content function to fill in the outline. Blackboard Ultra's Copy Content feature supports copying from both Ultra and original courses. Files, links, assessments, and rubrics should copy over with few issues. This technique provides a clean, well-structured, and thoughtful course build with fewer errors and conversion translations to fix. Now I will work through an example of the process. Here is an example of an Ultra course with the blank template that's provided when the course is first issued. So I can see that there is an example of a learning module called Weekly Lessons, and let's say that I want to reuse this and add my own content into it. What I want to do is click the three-dot more icon and choose the edit option, and I can rename this to what I want this to be. I'll call this Lesson 1. So I'm going to use this learning module for the Lesson 1 unit. And let's continue adding a few more learning modules to this page. So underneath that first lesson module, roll your mouse at the end and then click on the little plus button that appears outside of the module, and then choose Create. And here's where you have your options to create additional learning modules and folders to build that structure. So I want to keep using learning modules. I'll call this Lesson 2. And I'll click Save. So for this example, let's just say my course is 2 lessons. And now I want to add some content to my Lesson 1. If my Lesson 1 module is collapsed, I just have to click on it to see my tool to add content into it. And if I see the little plus icon inside the module, I'm going to click on it, and then I'll see my options here to add content to the module. And let's say I want to reuse content from my original course. I'll choose Copy Content. And a list of all the courses that I have on the system will appear. I can search by them by name or title to sort this down. And here's that example of my original course. And let's say I want to drill down into this and choose specific items from my Lesson 1 that I had in that course. So I'm just going to drill down until I see the content. And I want to include my introduction, my warm-up discussion. I'll use my web quest, my quiz, and an assignment, and my lesson close. Everything that's not selected will be omitted from the copy process. And now I'll click Start Copy. So when you see the Copy Content spinning wheel here, you have the option of waiting, or you could request additional copies for other areas. But in this case, I'm just going to wait until this is done. Okay, now the process is complete. So I'm going to refresh my page, and then I'll see what content was brought in. Right. So opening my Lesson 1 module, I'll notice everything is currently set to be hidden from students. That requires you to review the content and make sure all of it is the way you need, and adjust the due dates and any release conditions you've set to the content. So I'll look at my introduction here, and this all looks good up to the point of the table, which I could see there are some issues. I'll have to revise that. And you can revise content by clicking on the edit options here and choosing edit. And then due dates, you'll want to either revise due dates by editing items directly, like so, and going to the panel, the settings panel, and adjusting the dates in the due date field, and then clicking save. Or you could use the Batch Edit tool that appears in the top right corner of the screen. The Batch Edit screen is where you'll be able to select content and modify some of the settings for visibility and due dates. So in this example, let's say that I want to make this lesson folder available. So I'll select it, and then in the Edit Options area, I will go to Edit Visibility and change this to Visible to Students. But bear in mind the content inside of it may still be unavailable. So here is where you can drill down and manage the individual pieces of content. So if I want to make these available, I can select them and go to Edit Visibility, make them visible, and then I can adjust the due dates. So I can select the items with the due date, and then go to Edit, and then choose Edit Dates, and enter a date for the current start date. Let's say the current start date is, so the current start date 6/19/19, but we want a new start date, and that's the current date, so 8/4/23. So let's see what happens when I click Edit Dates. Okay, so now my date is reflective of the current date, 8/4/23. You may repeat these steps to add the content to your learning modules, but once you have reviewed and adjusted your dates and settings, always use Student Preview mode to check your design. If you have any questions about this process, contact the Online Learning Department.